You've probably heard all the buzz about AI's massive environmental footprint, right? But what if I told you the biggest story isn't about energy and water at all? Today, we're going to break down why the whole conversation about AI's impact might be missing the point completely.
Yeah, this quote really nails it. It's not saying the numbers are wrong. It's saying the way we're looking at them, the way the story is framed, is hiding something much, much bigger. All right, so let's start with that headline-grabbing comparison, the one that honestly is designed to make you a little nervous. And there it is. On the surface, this looks bad, really bad. You see a whole digital technology with the same carbon footprint as one of the biggest cities on Earth. It's a powerful comparison, for sure, but this is where things start to get really interesting.
So why is that comparison so misleading? Well, it all comes down to a neat little trick our brains play on us, something called aggregation bias. Okay, so here's the deal. When we see a few hundred giant, power-guzzling data centers all in one place, our brain screams, "Whoa, that's a huge problem." But we don't have that same alarm bell reaction to millions of tiny actions spread all over the world, even if they add up to the exact same total.
And this is where that bias just falls apart. Look at the top row, the total CO2. Yeah, AI and NYC are kind of in the same ballpark. But now look at the users. AI has about 1 billion users. New York City, 8 million. Once you do the math and look at the impact per person, well, the story just completely flips on its head. And this visual just makes it so incredibly clear. That little sliver on the left, that's the average AI user's footprint for a whole year. And that giant tower on the right, that's the average person living in New York. I mean, the difference is just staggering. It's not even in the same league.
Let's put a hard number on that. The carbon footprint of an average New Yorker is 130 times larger than an average AI user's. 130! Suddenly, that initial comparison feels a little different, doesn't it? Here's a fantastic way to think about it. Imagine we took every single tea kettle in the world, a totally normal everyday activity, and we plug them all into just 100 giant visible power plants. The numbers would look enormous. Would we suddenly see headlines about the carbon crisis of tea? Of course not. That's aggregation bias in action.
So, if the direct impact per person is that small, just how easy is it to deal with? This brings us to what the source calls the offset arithmetic.
This is kind of wild. Look at the cost of training something huge like GPT-3. To offset 10 times its water use, all it would take is for 100 people to shorten their daily shower by 2 minutes. To offset the carbon, about 1,000 people would just need to swap one beef meal for chicken, just once a week. These are tiny, almost trivial changes in the grand scheme of things. Which leads us to the most important question of all. If the direct footprint, the watts, the water, is this manageable, if it's maybe even a distraction, then what are we missing? What is the real story here? The answer isn't in watts or liters. It's in words. It's all about the stories that AI systems are telling us every single day.
The scale here is just mind-boggling. 1 billion people every week. That's 1 billion tiny conversations, 1 billion opportunities to nudge someone's thinking, to frame an issue in a certain way, or to reinforce deep-seated ideas about how we relate to the natural world.
And this is the heart of it. The real danger isn't the electricity bill for the data center. It's the risk that AI becomes a massive echo chamber for the very stories that got us into this mess. The idea that nature is just a resource to be used, or that endless economic growth is the only thing that matters. But okay, this isn't just about a hidden problem, it's also about a massive opportunity. Because if AI can tell stories, what if we could design it to tell better ones?
So there's this really cool initiative called the Harmony Project. It takes the standard goals for AI safety, that it should be helpful, harmless, and honest, and it adds a fourth, crucial H, harmony with nature.
The big idea here is to basically change AI's factory settings. By training these models on stories and data that are built around ecological awareness and connection, the hope is to create an AI that promotes a healthier relationship with nature just by default.
So let's bring this all home. It's time to completely reframe the conversation we're all having about AI and the environment.
It really boils down to this. For a while now, we've been asking, how do we power AI? And that's a fair question, but it's a technical one. The deeper, more important question we need to be asking is, what stories should AI tell? Because those stories, those are going to shape our future way more than any power grid ever will. And that's the thought I want to leave you with. The real challenge here isn't just about making AI carbon neutral. The incredible opportunity is to make it nature positive, to build a tool that billions of people use every day, a tool that subtly, constantly guides all of us toward a more sustainable, more harmonious relationship with our planet. Just imagine what that world could look like.